Hello and welcome to the Footy Times Premier League Review Show. It's been a while since we did the show. I think the last time we basically previewed the run-in to the season and we discussed the top four race, and I think that's pretty much the only thing to fight for, really. The relegation was also pretty much confirmed. Um, so finally, the season is over and done with. It was such an emotional roller coaster of a season. I'm sure it's the same for you guys. Yeah, I think we need to say kudos to the Premier League for actually, completing the season successfully with all the various challenges there were, COVID and suspensions and people quarantining and, even just, so many issues. But they've seen it through and hopefully we never have to see something like this again. Uh, but then we did have a lot of action to talk about on the football pitch. Even though it wasn't quite the same with the fans, I think we've all been discussed that to length, and we've kind of gotten used to it. So I think we can head straight into the content and just review what was a fairly exciting run-in, I think, given the circumstances. But before we do that, please do subscribe and just like the stream. It really helps us a lot, and we have some very interesting content planned, hopefully for the summer and going forward. We do want to change the format and some of the things that we do, but yeah, we do need your continued support for that. So we can, I think, head straight into it. So we should start, I think, with the champions. Yash, I know you've it's been a while since you won the title, so I think it's not really something that. But yeah, I mean, I'll let you talk about it. Go for it.
Yeah, okay. So I think title was pretty much written. We were bound to win it. For us, I think towards the end, it was all about Champions League, making sure we get to the Champions League finals, which we did pretty remarkably. And I was actually going through some stats, and looks like the first three games of the season and the last three games of the season were the only time when we conceded, or basically there were games where we conceded three or more goals. So I was kind of surprised by that. Basically, Ruben Diaz came in and uh, he just sorted out our defense. Plus, what a way for Aguero to go. Like he came on and scored like two goals right within 15 minutes of coming on, and he also basically broke the record of Wayne Rooney for most goals with a single club. So I think what a way to retire from City. So other than that, I think City season was pretty much like I think the January and the February months were the main uh, months where our title got decided. Basically, Gundogan was a main player for us in that run up, and also I think in this process we ended up with 19 consecutive away wins in all the competitions, which is like another all-time I think English football record. So yeah, I don't have much to say. Pretty content with the season so far. Like I was saying in one of the videos, that a successful season would be Premier League and Champions League final. I think we have already exceeded that. So we won the Carabao or the EFL and Premier League already, and we are into Champions League finals. Uh, just now, 4 more days, hopefully to add another trophy. The
But do you
first,
reckon it's sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
no, I was just saying first Champions League.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just waiting for that. Excited and nervous at the same time. So
Yeah. Do you reckon it's already a success without winning the Champions League? Like,
yeah,
I
yeah, that's
mean,
what I was saying. That I'm already content with the season. Like we won the Premier League, we won the Carabao, and we are already into the finals. So I think for me, it's a successful season already.
yeah. I mean, I'd say, given not to sound bitter or anything, but I think City they've been absolutely sensational. Don't get me wrong. And what Pep has done without a striker, it's brilliant. But I think, yeah, given that the depth of squad and where a lot of other teams have been struggling in a very condensed season. I think City have been able to rotate and keep their level. So I think
That's
this is a
true.
really good chance to win the Champions League.
And
Maybe the best chance you'll have,
I think City
you've ever
should.
had.
I think winning the Champions League, I would say if we don't win it, I mean it's not the end of it. But I definitely feel that City has to, do some summer transfer business to, strengthen the squad further, especially in the striker area. Because we know that, yeah, we did manage to get goals without a proper striker. And there was one more stats which I was really surprised by. The highest number of goals that any player has scored for us is Gundogan, and the number is like no greater than 15. He has scored 13 goals. He's our
In the
top
Premier
scorer
League.
for, yes.
No, but isn't that a good thing though
Wow.
that your what do you call the goals have been spread out, so everyone has actually stepped up and instead of relying on one striker
No,
like
I
most
agree.
teams do.
It's a definitely it's a good thing to have, but the point is how well can you consistently do that over the seasons. I feel next season we will definitely need a proper goal scorer who can just bury the chances that he will get. Uh, but I mean, yeah, I'm not complaining that all our players contributed, but is it sustainable? That's what I was trying to say.
I think even in the season, there were situations where you were crying out for somebody to get onto the end of those crosses,
Yeah,
which your
exactly.
players regularly, cut back and stuff like that. So yeah, I can see why.
And I still
Uh,
feel that a fully fit Kun Aguero next season would still have been pretty helpful. He would still have been able to, get us at least 20 goals a season.
yeah,
Uh, but yeah, I think he had to move on, or maybe Pep felt that it is time for him to go on a high. So maybe we didn't decide to give him a new contract. But now with the rumors of Kane, I don't know how true those are. I mean, rumors are true, but I don't know if we will really pull the trigger for like 130, 140 million. I
yeah.
doubt that.
But he's like the only, okay, in my point of view, if you guys are missing someone, is obviously the striker, and Kane is the best out there, probably, if we are to not include Lewandowski. So getting him in would pretty much, guarantee you not only goals, but I'm pretty sure it will keep you consistent on at least getting the next two Premier Leagues in
No, I
in my
feel if we
opinion.
get Kane and if he manages to stay fit, then I think we can walk the league again. That is
Yeah,
my
exactly.
feeling.
Yeah.
Because KDB is actually
Nightmare
staying.
What?
KDB
It's a
is
nightmare
actually
scenario for the rest of the league, I
Yeah,
think.
exactly. Yeah,
that
I'm not
is
looking forward to
that
that
is
either.
true because I feel that number of chances that De Bruyne creates and the way we are not able to finish off them, it's like we need someone like Kane, who can head in the crosses, who can just tap in, and I think if we get him, it would be like a pretty much guaranteed that we finish top again,
And
unless
he's
something
sort of
catastrophic happens and we just
he's also the
don't make
type
it.
of striker which sort of gets involved in the game. He's not just a poacher, right? He
Yeah.
he sort of brings in players like we all know how he has been with
Yep.
Son. So that
That's true.
might be a bit more enticing for Pep to sort of go for him.
The
Works hard
problem
off the
is,
ball as well, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm
That's
saying.
something he
yeah,
always
Yeah.
wanted from Aguero, which he
yep.
never truly got, I think.
But I still feel that it is I will hope he comes, but I will not just put my money on it. So we'll see.
Can guarantee you that if, say, for some reason City don't win the Champions League, they are definitely going for Kane.
We will see how we lose the Champions League. I mean, in which way? I mean, if Sterling starts missing open goals, or maybe Jesus doesn't decide to shoot and waste the chance, and if that is how we lose, then I'm pretty sure we will go for a striker. So let's see.
We should probably talk about this. We should probably talk about this at a different time, I think.
Yeah,
We should
yeah.
probably do a
Let's,
transfer show at some point. But you were saying something, Rahul. Go ahead. Finish it up.
No, I sort of forgot. Never mind. I think, sorry, irrespective
Yeah.
of the result, I feel they would need a striker, right? because Aguero is going, they need someone up there.
Actually,
Might not
we
be-
see,
it might
we
not
all
be
feel we would
Kane.
need a striker, but actually the other day, Gary Neville was saying that we should stop predicting what Pep will do or how he will, find a way to get the team going. So I know that we all feel we need a striker, but even if we don't get, I would just hope that Pep finds some other way to get goals. I think Ferran Torres is a good option, to be honest. He has shown pretty uh, good form so far. He can finish well. He can make good runs in the box. So we will see, and he can also play false nine, which I think Pep would love. So.
Yeah, but I think we'll just end with a quick note on the final, since we were talking about the Champions League anyway. How do you see that playing out? Are you confident?
So the positive points I have about City is that Tuchel doesn't really know what first 11 Pep will choose, because Pep has been playing Sterling for a while now in the last few games. I mean, although it is PL, but I do see that Sterling is coming back to his usual form of running behind the defenders and making
You
very
think he
good runs
starts?
in the box. That is what I'm saying. That
Yeah,
I don't think so, but you never know
Yeah.
if Pep is preparing for that, and Tuchel might not really, know which starting 11 will be there. I think 10 out of 11 maybe are sure players who will be starting, but I think one or two spots will be there, which can be a little surprise. So I'm getting some confidence from the form Chelsea have been in,
Mm-hmm.
and I was also reading that Mendy was taken off in the last game at halftime.
Yeah.
Maybe just a precautionary, but I still feel City might edge it with full starting 11. City versus Chelsea. I think City have a better squad, so I will still feel that City will win it, but it's
Yeah.
finals.
I think
We don't know.
that's
the
the
last
smart money is on.
the,
Yeah.
I was going to say the last time Chelsea faced a Manchester club that had won the league, you know how the result ended. So
It was a penalty, right? Penalty
yeah,
shootout, and
yep,
a Terry slip.
yeah, Terry slip
Yeah. And the last time actually Chelsea won, which was I think exactly a decade ago, right? 2011-12 was when
2012,
against
2012.
Bayern. Yeah,
9 years ago.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
maybe 9 years ago then, and that was again a comeback, if I remember right. Comeback
Mm-hmm.
from Chelsea and then a penalty shootout.
I mean, with one sort of the finals, which is
Yeah.
just a one-game match, it's always on the day. I feel a lot of times. Sure,
Exactly.
on paper,
So
Yeah, but
City
I think that's
can walk on Chelsea for sure. Like there is no two ways about it. But it's just the unpredictability of the day, I guess, where it
yep,
might turn
that's
out in a
true.
different way. Like the way
That is totally
Liverpool
true.
won against AC Milan, no one thought that's going to be possible, right? I mean,
it's
I'm
actually
not.
16 years today.
Oh, okay. All right. Happy
The
anniversary,
Miracle of
Ainash.
Istanbul.
oh,
And it was supposed to be in Istanbul, wasn't it? Thank God it wasn't actually. Yeah. I'd hate to see Man City winning it in Istanbul. I'd hate to see Man City winning it, period. But I think Istanbul is ours.
The
But yeah,
thing
that's
is
a
that,
quick.
I mean, either which ways it is one of the English teams. So those who.
Yeah. Yeah, I
yep,
think that
Yeah.
nightmare scenario, unfortunately,
yeah,
couldn't be avoided.
exactly.
But yeah, I mean, quick word from you guys. Who do you think is going to win? I mean, yes, obviously we know.
I hope
Figured it
Chelsea
out.
win.
Who do you think will win? I know you hope Chelsea will win.
I think Man City have a better chance of winning.
Okay. I mean, I think that would be, like I said, smart money. What about you, Rahul?
Shooting for the underdogs, Chelsea.
Yeah. Yeah, I reckon Chelsea could cause an upset here,
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they do have the squad, and as I said, on the day anything can happen. What if Timo
Yeah.
Werner he even sort of converts the 10% of the chances that he has had all season?
They're
It's
they're very
still
good
That's
on the
true.
counter attack, Chelsea. They're one of
yeah.
the best counter
So
attacking, and
I
they will have
would be
opportunities.
I would be worried about N'Golo Kante and Mason Mount. I think those are the two
yeah,
players I
Mason
would be
Mount
worried
has a
about.
good season.
And
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think one key player for Chelsea is Mendy, their goalkeeper. He's been phenomenal for them. So
Yeah, that could
he,
be a blow if he's missing.
yeah,
But yeah, I'll go for Chelsea anyway. Why not?
Oh, you're also going with Chelsea, Ainash?
Yeah. yeah, I think it's important that Man City don't win because that's the one thing that they haven't won,
Yeah.
and there'll be no stopping them if they do that. I mean,
Exactly.
Chelsea are a type of club who could, win a
Do
Premier League and
something.
Champions League double and finish 10th the
Right,
next year. So
Yep.
I'm not so
That
worried
is
about
so
I
true.
Chelsea.
completely
That
agree
is so
with that.
true.
You
Yeah.
might well see Tuchel being sacked by December after winning the Champions League. That would just be so Chelsea. But yeah, I think we should
It's
move
time
on.
to move on. Yep.
Yeah. So we're going in the order of the league table.
Yeah,
So
I
take it
know it's
away,
Is it
Sheldon.
me? Is it me?
it's
Is
So
it
what is
me?
Rahul
You
doing
think?
here?
You
What?
What is
think?
Rahul doing here?
Yeah, Rahul,
Do I go
everyone, right?
next? Do I go next?
Arsenal. No. If you were doing it backwards, probably you would go next. But since we're doing it in ascending
Yeah,
order,
unfortunately.
Manchester United finished second. I don't think any of us on this call predicted that, especially finishing ahead of Liverpool. So, I mean, I could, let me focus on the positives. I am thrilled that the team uh, finished second. And there were a lot more positives in the sense that Bruno, had one whole season under his belt, and he's been a phenomenal player for us. The only issue is that we've been very dependent on him throughout the season. If he's not playing or if he doesn't click, the team kind of struggles in that sense. And especially with the what do you call 1/3 of the season when we've missed Paul Pogba as well. So that's been pretty crazy. But the positives to take from the Man United team would be Bruno, Luke Shaw, Cavani, and Rashford. I would say Cavani being one of those hit and miss sort of signings. I mean, I don't think we intended to sign Cavani, but we did on deadline day for a free, and he came to the party and he actually scored those crucial goals.
So
And,
just one
yeah,
thing
go
on
ahead.
Cavani. I feel the moment his future was decided, I think he clicked and he started scoring goals. I think before it was so much uncertainty that whether he is going to stay or not, and
I almost think
he
it was the
I,
other
was
way around, right?
yeah, I
He
was
started
thinking
scoring, and there was a change of heart.
exactly. He started scoring. I don't know if he was playing for a new contract or what, but he uh, he started scoring goals, and obviously he got that contract. And there are several reasons why we chose to extend Cavani. One being, I think we needed a striker. If we had to let go of Cavani this coming summer, then we would have to get a new striker in because Martial cannot be trusted, and Greenwood is way too young to fill that number 9 position.
but I think Greenwood finishes like every chance that he gets. I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, Greenwood's
Yeah.
definitely one of the best finishers that we have at the club. But the only thing is that he's not filled himself up to hold the ball up, and so he'll need that about 2 to 3 years to kind of groom into that role. I mean, he's taking the same path what Van Persie took at Arsenal, if you think about it.
Who?
Uh, I mean, obviously we finished second. I am, hoping tomorrow is going to be that crucial day when we get that one trophy under Ollie to prove that his credentials at the end of the day. I mean, we've had multiple semi-final hiccups, so trying to get that one trophy would make the season a success in a way because we finished ahead. We finished last season. We finished third. This season we finished second. And we would have a trophy this season as well. So, kind of looking forward to that. As far as the negatives go, if we think about it, if we compare ourselves to Liverpool, for instance, Liverpool finished third. Yes, they did have that resurgence towards the end of 5 wins or something, consecutive wins. But the only difference between us and Liverpool was 5 points. Now, come to think of it, everyone would think that Liverpool had a really bad season, and then if we, on the other hand, we would think that Man United had a really good season, but that difference is only 5 points. So it's, I mean, I think we
There's levels
should,
to this.
yeah, I know
I think it
we
is.
we should be doing a lot better. I mean, we lost. I was just looking at the scores the other day, and it seems like we lost 7 points against the sides that got relegated. That was enough to get us within like single digit distance between us and City for that matter. So there's a lot of room for improvement in that sense as far as United go. I mean, come to think of towards the end of the season, United conceded a lot of goals. So defense is still a huge question mark. However, the fact that Maguire
Maguire.
missed those 3-4 games, we've looked completely lackluster and like a headless chicken in defense, basically. So come to think of it, I mean, I feel like, oh, you know what, actually having Maguire is sort of a requirement in our defense. We do need someone to actually complement Maguire. And I think centre back will be one of those high priority signings this summer. So kind of looking forward to that.
So this is the thing, right? I think this has been said a lot. The irony of Gary Neville after the Liverpool game talking about how Man United missed Maguire. I mean, it was there for all to see. Playing against a team who were playing the 6th and 7th choice centre backs. You know, that was, I think,
exactly.
That just shows, and for all those people who are saying, we're making excuses and shit like that, one centre back. United lost one centre back and they struggled towards the end. City lost one centre back last season, and we all know what happened there.
I know, but the thing over here is that despite having Maguire, we were struggling. So it is that bad. Like I feel like centre backs have become ultra important, at least in the PL. I think all of us are looking for a really good centre back. You obviously Liverpool with DVD coming back, and obviously with the signing of Konate, I think that's a really good thing. That's a really good thing for Liverpool. I'm kind of, I mean, apart from City, I feel like Liverpool is the next team to look to watch out for next season. And then obviously we went this entire season, I think, unbeaten, away from home. So I mean, come to think of it, I mean, what's away from home and what's playing at home, right? I mean, it's probably like a mental thing. I think it's probably like a mental thing, and we've been struggling. I mean, I think all of our losses, 6 of them came at home.
I feel United become very like, at least this season, it felt like United have just got that knack to come back from like going down or
that is something.
The number of games that you guys came back from behind was like just
I think highest number of points won from positions, 30 or something. Way ahead of the next team in that list.
And I was like discounting the other teams whenever they would take a lead, thinking that okay, now is actually it's like a poking the bear, like they poke the United.
Yeah, but United come back. I don't think as a United supporter, I know although those those stats look amazing and sound great and everything, but as a United supporter, there will be a time when we won't be able to come back. I feel we still need to make sure that we don't concede, useless goals, which we've done on regular occasions. At the end of the day, I mean, like Sir Alex Ferguson used to say that defense, I mean, if your attack wins you games, their defense wins you titles. And that's what happened obviously with Man City. And, the other side of the coin, you could see with Avinash and Liverpool struggling because their defense, which is the driving force even for their attack, were suffered because of all the centre backs being injured. So, and lastly, I want to talk about De Gea versus Henderson.
Oh God.
De Gea versus Henderson. I don't know, like what's. Well, I mean, no one knows who's going to be sold and who's going to play. I mean, I think right now the chances are De Gea is probably going to start tomorrow's game, but no one knows who's Oli going to go with next season as his number one, because we've definitely brought got Heaton back in.
Oh really?
Yeah, Heaton's probably is definitely going to be
Back
signed on
in.
a.
Mm-hmm.
He used to be
He was a,
part of. He
oh, he
was
was a
part of
United.
the United Academy player. Yeah.
Mhm.
So he's
He
going to be
hasn't played
re-signed
in
from
3 years.
Burnley.
He hasn't
Yeah.
played in 3 years or something, right? It was his first start in 2 years or 3 years recently,
Yeah,
something like
yeah,
that. Yeah,
yeah. He was, I
yeah,
think, yeah, he's going to be re-signed. He's obviously for as a stopgap, but I think either, Henderson or De Gea is leaving. So
yeah.
I
On
think
that
it's
thing,
interesting time. Yeah.
right? Yeah, I had some opinions on that. I honestly think De Gea is world class. I don't even get why Dean Henderson played as many games as he did,
Yeah.
because I mean, I've heard that there's a bit of a media agenda around this, and the English media are trying to push Henderson because he's English. But honestly, I've said this, I think, before on the chat, that goalkeepers can often go through really long slumps of bad form, especially when the team in front of them is kind of dysfunctional. And I gave the example of Manuel Neuer. For 2 years, people didn't know where he was because Bayern Munich was struggling. He'd
Yeah.
basically been written off. People thought he was finished, and then you saw how he's come back. So I think De Gea, in this case, class at goalkeepers don't really decline at the
Yeah.
same rate as outfielders do. And
Yeah.
in this case, the adage of class is permanent, form is temporary, I think is very true. And there should be no question for me as to who should be number one. When you have a keeper like that, it's going to be so hard to find a goalkeeper like De Gea. Trust me.
But
So it'd be absolutely stupid to get rid of him.
I do agree with that, but on the other side, there are a lot of faults in De Gea's game. Not because of his form, but because of his actual game. Like
Yeah.
when it comes to dominating his penalty box, he's not very strong in the air. For one, we've conceded. I think we are one of the only teams that have conceded the most through set pieces this season, and I'm not blaming it on De Gea. Obviously, our centre backs and are to be blamed for that as well, but De Gea is not very dominant in the air when it comes to he. I think he's a little timid. And then on the other side, what that way Henderson provides that sort of dominance in the area, in the air, and then Henderson
Agree?
also is good at his ball distribution as opposed to De Gea. So those are a couple of things which has kind of got Ollie to kind of give Henderson that. To trust him and give that opportunity to see what he can do. Yes, De Gea is one of the best shot stoppers in the world, but he is also prone to making a lot of mistakes. I think he did quite a few. He made a lot of I think
But
3 or
that's
4
that's
mistakes last
that's the
season.
bad form I was talking about. For me, that it can happen for goalkeepers. I don't think that should be. I think he's kind of back. I don't think he's made a mistake this season, has he?
I
Or
think it
maybe
depends on
not for a while.
how
I
Ole wants to continue playing, right?
Exactly. I mean, question. Okay, let me ask you this: when you talk about the Liverpool, when you talk about Edison and Allison, one of their strong suits is basically their ball distributions,
Oh
and I
yeah, no,
think,
no.
and
Yeah,
that
true.
contributes. So you, as a goalkeeper, it's no longer just that you've got to be a shot stopper. You've got to be dynamic in that sense.
Yeah,
No,
And I don't know if, I mean, the game has evolved in that sense, and I don't know if De Gea has kept up with that part of
I
his
agree.
game.
Yes,
I
I
agree that's
agree.
not one of his strong suits, but to do that, you need to go out and get a goalkeeper who is
Yeah.
basically who can do everything, and that's going to be hard. There's
So
not too many
is
goalkeepers out there on the market,
so is
so I don't think
Hen-
Henderson.
no,
Sorry,
I was
yes,
just asking if Henderson is better than De Gea in
yeah.
that aspect.
I didn't think so. To be honest, I was a little bit sorry, Sheldon. I was just going to say that I'm a little bit biased because yeah, I thought he was very bad in that Liverpool game, and I haven't seen that much of Henderson, but from what I saw,
Oh,
he
yeah.
made a lot of blunders.
Yep.
Yeah, go
And
ahead.
I'm not saying that Henderson is better than De Gea. I mean, at this point in time, for me, they're both equally good or equally bad for that matter. But the question is that you already have like one goalkeeper who's on 375 k wages per week, and then the other on 140 k wages per week. You can't be paying
Dean,
like half a million.
Henderson is on 140 a week.
Yeah, yeah.
Holy
So you can't be
moly.
paying like half a million in wages just for your goalkeepers. One person needs to go, and also Donnarumma is not going to be signing. Not that United are linked with him, but I'm just saying Donnarumma is another goalkeeper that's not going to be signing with Milan, so he'll be up for grabs.
Yeah, he's a Rayla player though.
Yeah. I
He's
know
a
that.
Manchester also just so
But
it
I
comes
think
with it.
nowadays most of the managers, who are at least fighting for the, let's say, top half of the table, they want to play with ball playing goalkeeper, which is something I just don't understand because Leicester have tried it, and Schmeichel is one of the like worst goalkeepers to play when it comes to playing from the back. The amount of misplaced
He's
passes and errors that he concedes is like just crazy. I
but
never
he
thought he was a good ball playing goalkeeper.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I think, but he's received a lot of plaudits from the pundits at least.
it's a good
Being
showstopper. I think
He's a
yeah.
great shot
But
stopper, no doubt, but same like De Gea, right? I think it all comes down to how the manager
dude, yeah,
sees their
exactly. I think
team,
Oli wants to play
and
from the back, and he can't right now
yep. So
based
that
on
is
his.
anyway, I
a
think this is probably a wider topic.
Yeah.
But yeah, you were saying something, Stefan. Yes, sure.
huh?
Yes,
No,
you
I
were
think
saying
we
something.
are. No, I was just trying to say that it all depends on the style of the manager, whether a
Yeah,
goalkeeper
that's true.
goes for the
But
back.
that's
I
where football is going, I think. But there
I
needs to
think
be
that's
another. Mhm.
I was going to say this is a good segue to talk about goalkeepers and Allison's header, which led to.
Oh,
Uh,
What a goal that was, man!
Yeah, what a moment.
yeah,
First
yeah.
time ever. That's first time for me seeing a goalkeeper score.
It's the first time that a Liverpool goalkeeper has scored in a competitive game. And yeah, I mean that's if you want me to talk about Liverpool, yeah, I can. We're done. I mean, yeah, that's just for me that last 10 games. I mean, we all know what the story of the season is. It's just injuries. It's been a horrendous season. I mean, yeah, it finished well. I think the key was when we lost all our centre backs in December when Matip got injured, and that was kind of what started that wretched run of form where we took 12 points from 14 games or something,
yeah.
and basically it just brought our season to its knees. From that point on, at that point it was fairly obvious that we were never going to get anywhere near winning the Premier League or the Champions League. And it was always about making sure that there is no lasting damage done in terms of going forward, which is basically missing out on the Champions League, because I feel like that would have. I know there might have been contingency plans in place, and there was talk that they understand the circumstances and all that, but it would have probably set us back by a year or two, missing out on the Champions League. So it was absolutely imperative at that point that we just get the Champions League done, draw line under the season, and just move on. And it did look at that point, I think after that loss to Fulham, which was the end of that run, that there would be absolutely no chance. It needed a miracle. We were like 8th, I think, at that point. 10 points off Leicester, and it was just, yeah, we'd all just given up on the season. And the last 10 games, for me, it was so heartening to see, because that was the Liverpool I know. That was the Liverpool that I think we've all come to recognize. Uh, just I think 10 games unbeaten, winning 8, drawing 2, and even the 2 draws were actually, if it weren't for last minute goals, they would have probably been wins. And to be honest, that is the kind of run that probably only Man City can put together in this league. And for me, that showed that what has set this Liverpool team apart over the last 2 seasons, that mentality, that relentlessness of just win. And that is something that, like I said, only Manchester City have shown. And that shows that mentality is still there, because in between it felt like somehow we just lost it. It felt like a couple of players were declining. I mean, we spoke about it, Firmino and Mane especially, but they found some form at the end. It was just typical Liverpool, just we had all kinds of games. We had games where we dominated, games where we didn't play well but still won. We had last minute goals. Again, that goal from Alisson when all seemed lost, our goalkeeper pops up with a 94th minute goal. There was another 90th minute goal by Trent against Aston Villa. And yeah, it was just, it told me that, we're still there. We're still there. I think this team is still, people who have written obituaries about this team that, things have gone stale and will probably, need to make a lot of additions or a revamp in the summer. I think it's not true. I think this team still has a good year or two at least left, and I expect us to come back next season. And I think, yeah, like I said, what I saw in the last 10 games is enough to tell me that
But
we will be back.
But do you not feel that Liverpool still needs to strengthen their bench by a lot? Maybe
Yeah,
not by a
yeah.
lot, but they do some good, decent backups now.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think the biggest agenda for the summer is getting rid of a lot of the deadwood. Somehow we seem to have accumulated a lot, and the likes of
Origi.
Shaqiri and Origi, and I discussed this already. Minamino,
Yes.
even somebody like Ox and Keita. Like when we needed them, they didn't step up. I wouldn't be averse to
Actually,
sort of moving
actually,
one of them on.
Oxlade-Chamberlain looked so good when he joined right after, like
Yeah.
right from Arsenal. He was like actually showing really good.
I did tell you he was that kind of a player who's not going to show up. You feel like he's going to show up, but he just doesn't
Yeah, but
anytime.
actually the bigger
Arsenal made
disappointment.
him better.
He
Arsenal
was
fans made
knocking on
him better.
Arsenal's door for so long
Yeah.
to be that sort of great England player, but he never ever showed up. And I felt like that was really going to happen. Not to have any ill feelings against him or Liverpool, but generally I felt like that was never going to happen.
Yeah. He did have a couple of good games towards the end, but yeah, I agree with you. But to me, the bigger disappointment has been Keita. I think there's almost forgotten that he was signed for 50 million and some mad stat. I think he's played
I think more
an
than that.
average of 9 or 10 games per season,
Yeah.
full games. It's absolutely ridiculous. And honestly, I think every time you think, like, there's so much talent, and all as Liverpool fans want to see him do well, but every time he comes back, he either doesn't show up, he doesn't play well, or he just breaks down with another
He was
injury.
supposed to be
Most
the
of
deep
the
lying
time, both.
playmaker, right? He was supposed to be the deep lying
Yeah,
playmaker.
he and
No,
Fabiano
I think
was
he's
signed
more of a
together,
box-to-box player.
Yeah,
He's
he's
kind of
box to
like
box.
the
Oh,
all-action
alright.
midfielder who can do everything.
Vinesh, I had a question for you. So, actually, two questions. First thing is that do you know how many points you guys accumulated after you guys signed two centre backs in the winter transfer window?
Points we accumulated. I think one of them didn't play at all, so I don't even know what that was about.
Oh, okay.
Ben Davies, I still think he's a myth. I don't think he exists. It's just a myth which they created to appease the fans. Kabak, I think it took a while for him to get integrated. He started playing from around mid-February. It was decent. I think we did lose a couple of games at the start. I think we lost to Leicester, Chelsea, Fulham.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, that last 10 games was where we finally found a stable partnership with Phillips and Kabak, and later Reece Williams in the last 5 games. And I think the key there was actually Fabinho into midfield. That is something. What the biggest takeaway from me from this season is we have to have either Fabinho or Henderson playing in midfield, because that's basically when we had the best periods of our season.
Gotcha.
You take the two of them out, and it was just absolute. It was just a disaster class. So as much as that, having that stability from having a stable centre back pairing helped, because I think there is some crazy number of partnerships that we had during the season. I don't even know, like 20 or more probably.
Yeah, I think it was like
something
25
really
in
mad.
mid-season or something. Yeah. And
Yeah,
my second part of the question was, you know that your centre backs. I mean, with Konate, I don't think you're going to get any more centre backs or add any more to your defense. But with your aging midfield and I guess aging strike force, where would you strengthen?
I think we need to strengthen in both. I mean, like, I think we're definitely signing a centre back. Konate is coming in. I would obviously a Genie replacement is required.
Wasn't Thiago supposed to be Genie's replacement last summer?
He is in a way, but you think about it, we have Fabinho, Henderson, and Thiago is probably going to be the first choice, and that's one hell of a midfield, by the way. Nobody has any problem with that. But you see, beyond that, even though we have the numbers, like Ox and Keita, the two players I mentioned, were completely unreliable. Milner is going to be 36 mid-season. Curtis is still young. So, even though we have numbers there, I don't think any of them can be really relied upon. So we definitely need one more body there. I think Bissouma is the one who's been targeted, but again, we can talk about that in a later show.
In the transfer segment, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and definitely we need a forward. I think for me, that is absolutely imperative. I know Mane and Bobby showed up towards the end. They showed that they're still not done at this level. There's still a lot left to come from them. But given that Mane and Salah will be off for the AFCON for a month, I think it's absolutely imperative. It's even more important than signing a midfielder for me. It has to be second priority after centre back. But we do have a lot of business to do in the transfer market. But hopefully the Champions League qualification helps, because now they don't have an excuse. We literally haven't signed anyone for 2 years. I mean, I know we signed Thiago and Jota, but it's not like, it's not a lot of money spent if you look at our last 2 summers since we bought those players in 2018. So there should be funds. But yeah, I think overall the feeling I have is one of optimism going into next season, as opposed to everything just looked really dark a couple of months ago. So
And don't forget the funds from Coutinho sale.
Yeah, we still have 5 million owed by Barca.
No, but they're not going to play him, so he's not getting that money.
Man.
Yeah. So I don't know if. Hopefully, we don't have to sell anyone to raise the funds. I think that's not going to go down well.
I think Champions League qualification secures, makes it a lot easier. Otherwise, it would have been to be sell a player to get a player.
Yeah. I did say that I think Champions League was absolutely imperative when we last did a show. And there's one thing I wanted to get off my chest actually, and there's been a lot of talk about excuses and just suck it up, get on with it. Everybody has injuries and stuff like that. And I even heard somebody say we finished 3rd in a 2-horse race. I'm like, that is so stupid, because you're basically talking about a horse. If you want to look at it like that, we were essentially a horse with its head and one leg cut off, and we still finished 3rd in a race with 19 other horses. So I mean,
that is what Sheldon was saying, right? That United's season is considered a success.
Yeah.
Whereas Liverpool's season is considered a disaster. But it's just 5 points separating the two.
Oh, and by the way, just to give you a little bit of fun fact, the last time United finished 2nd, I think this was in 2017-18 season, behind Man City. Liverpool finished in 4th, but the difference in points was 6, and this time it's 5. So,
are you saying it's an omen that we're going to win the Champions League next season?
Who knows? I mean, with VVD back, anything, and Konate, I rate both of them. So it's a little ominous for me from a United fan perspective.
Yeah. I mean, imagine if you go on in the Champions League, that header from Alisson, will probably be seen as pivotal. I mean, it's already pivotal. I think getting us into the Champions League is huge.
Yeah, I think it's.
So who knows? We could come back to look upon it as one of those moments.
Basically, you guys had a similar run as what United had last season. I mean, it was Champions League was pretty much, and we made it to 3rd, and so did you guys. So kudos.
Yeah. So I think quickly moving on. Oh, by the way, I think do we want to talk about Chelsea quickly before we move to?
Yeah, let's. Obviously, I mean, Chelsea deserve to be spoken about because they made it to a top 4, and when Lampard was in charge of them, they had no. They lost so many games and they drew so many games that no one ever expected them to make it to top 4 as well. So I would like to give a shout out to Tuchel. I mean, the guy came in and he just turned Chelsea's fortunes around. Not just the league making it to top 4, but also the Champions League to get to the final. This is his 2nd consecutive final in the Champions League, and I mean, he's obviously not had his strikers firing, but for the fact that he's got them organized and not conceding goals. So, kudos to him.
I feel it's a bit of a same conversation that we sort of had with Liverpool season perceived as a success or not, kind of a deal. Well, it would seem like Chelsea's season is a success, but if you think about it, they needed Tottenham's help to even be in the top 4, to be honest. So their team, their sort of season unraveled at the end. They are in the Champions League final for sure. Yeah, they made it to a top 4. So it definitely seems like they are doing good. Like overall perception is that it's good, but I feel like they are still not a team that will push for like the top two, I guess, even in the EPL a lot of times. I'm not saying they got lucky or anything this year with like the Champions League final and everything. They definitely deserved it on merit. Tuchel did a good job with the team after he came around, flopped it around for them. But overall, if you see big perspective, I feel like it's still a bit lacking. Like their team generally, I feel.
You can.
And don't forget, yeah.
Oh, I
Sorry.
was going to say, just going to add there that Chelsea are not actually firing all guns blazing, and they're still managed to get this far. So it's kind of going to be crazy if they did get
But
in the
it's
right
also
strikers and
a
stuff.
factor
Go
of
ahead, Avinash.
like just the
No, I was saying,
EPL sort of.
yeah, sorry. Yeah, Rahul, what? Go ahead.
It's just a factor of how the EPL is this year. Like I think the top, like if you see 3 to 11 or 10 something, they are just covered by 10 points. So it's almost like a play of a dice at this point. Like it has been so close by. So
Yeah. What I was going to say was, let's not forget that they spent 200 million in the summer. For anybody who's calling this an underdog story, I think we just need to take a step back. Like City and Chelsea are by far have, squads which, can't compare with the rest of the league.
Yeah.
They had definitely had a massive advantage. Obviously, City have made really good use of it. We know, their season and how well they played. But Chelsea, they're massively underachieved. I think, unless they win the Champions League final, now that would be something. But yeah, and so on that point, yeah, do you guys think it was more of like a new manager bounce, or like Rahul said, are they starting to get a little found out? Of course, the lack of finishing is a big problem. I think that's not helping them.
I personally feel that Chelsea are creating chances, like we saw against Madrid, right? Against Real Madrid, they were like just creating chances after chances, but it was because of missed finishing
Yeah.
or poor finishing that they made the games so close. And as far as conceding goals go, I feel that Mendy has been a very good signing for them.
Yeah.
I think after Ederson, Mendy has like 16 clean sheets, and the number of games that Mendy has played versus Ederson, it's a good enough difference between the two uh, numbers. But I feel, yeah, Chelsea are, at least I feel they have a good, uh, Tuchel has got them good organized, well organized,
Yeah.
and I feel it is not just a fluke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he's definitely done a good job. I think, yeah, the defense, tightening up the defense, it was so leaky at the start of the season. So he's found that balance, I think, which Lampard completely struggled with. He just could not find the balance between defense and side. So yeah, we know Tuchel is really good tactically. So definitely there is something there. It'll be interesting to see if they can add that striker to take them to the next level. So yeah, and we could probably move on. There's just one thing I want to say. There's only one thing I want to say about Tottenham before we move on to Arsenal. It's just peak banter. Like, they had one job. All they had to do was make sure they lost on the final day, because basically they ended up helping the two biggest rivals. They helped Chelsea qualify for the Champions League, and they helped Arsenal miss out on the Conference League. Sorry, yeah. They helped Chelsea qualify for the Champions League and made sure that Arsenal didn't qualify for the Conference League.
No, but
they are in the Conference League.
But they
The one game they had to lose.
Oh yeah. I guess you're right.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I don't think Rahul wanted Arsenal to qualify for that.
You're right.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You're absolutely right, Sheldon. No, I mean, never mind. Let's finish the thought for Spurs and then.
Yeah, we can move to Arsenal, but yeah, that's all I want to say about Tottenham. It's just peak Tottenham, basically. Yeah, so we can move on to Arsenal. Rahul,
Rahul, take it away.
So, where in the
Where do you start?
Where do you start? Where do you end?
There's a lot of trash to dig into to bring up things, but it's so right off the bat. I feel like it's good thing that we didn't qualify for the Europa, whatever that league is.
Conference League.
Conference League, yeah. I felt like it's a good thing because it definitely takes away the mental satisfaction of being in being in Europe for one, and that sort of takes away of stamping this season being a good season and nothing would change the next season. Like it could point to that potentially. saying that, oh, we are in Europe for the 26th season in the row, just to show the owners have something to say that, oh, yeah, it was a shitty season, whatever, but we still qualified for Europe. So I felt for that reason alone, I felt that not qualifying for that thing is a blessing in disguise for us. It keeps things in perspective. Where it was a bad season, no doubt about it. Like somehow, like one of you mentioned that, oh, we were just 5 or 6 points off Chelsea for the fourth place, which technically, and I think we won the last 5 games, and Liverpool were the only other team who won their last 5 games in the league. So to be honest, the end of the season was not that bad. We won it pretty convincingly. They were not like 2-1, 1-0 wins. We won it pretty convincingly the last 5 games. So overall, I felt like it was not a bad end of the season, but I like where we ended for a lot of things that it gives perspective of how bad the season was to sort of put pressure on the management, Arteta, to do something for the next season. And yeah, I definitely feel like it was on overall a pretty bad season. Sort of, if you want to sum it up in one way, it's a bad season. Do you guys want to sort of guess who were the top two sort of goal scorers for Arsenal? So okay, so to get this thing right off the
Saka
bat,
might be one of them.
no. So one interesting thing. So we have this whole sort of pool going on, right? Where
Yeah.
at the start of the season we predict who our top strikers were. So I
Yeah.
had Aubameyang
Oh,
in that list.
yeah.
Okay, I had Aubameyang in that list. And who do you think was the top two goal scorers this season
I
for
would think
Arsenal?
Lacazette.
Okay, yeah, he was the top in EPL and overall. Like if you consider all the other cups also. And second,
Okay.
Saka.
no. So the $72 million flop, which everyone said.
Pepe.
Yeah.
Man.
Hey,
So
Oh,
Pepe
wow.
he has scored
Crazy.
one extra goal than Aubameyang. So, but anyway, so leaving those things apart, it was a pretty bad season overall. I guess the only couple of few things was ESR, Saka playing good, Turney showing up well, and I guess Odegaard, I don't know if he's going to stay or not, but he like the eye for a pass that the guy has, it's pretty incredible. Like the weight that he has, the timing that he has is pretty incredible. So that was pretty good to see.
Does he remind you guys of Ozil or Fabregas in any which
So
ways?
more Ozil, I guess.
yeah, more
Yeah, more
obviously
Ozil
more
than
Ozil. Like he's not a box to box kind of a person for sure, like what Fabregas was. But yeah, even better than Ozil for like the age and maturity that he has. So beyond like Pepe coming back like from a torrid first season is a pretty good omen, I guess, on the right wing. So overall, I felt like it was
You
a
forgot
pretty.
Willock.
Uh, so okay, so the thing with Willock is he had a phenomenal season, right? That's what we were discussing before we
yeah.
got on the
Yeah, the
call.
new
Like
transfer.
he,
Phenomenal end to the season, if you like.
yeah, and
Yeah.
like yeah, he equaled Shearer's record of consecutive goal scoring for
Goals.
Newcastle. But I don't know. Coming back to Arsenal next season, is Arteta even going to play him? To be honest, if Odegaard goes away, maybe he has a shot. With Sabah also potentially gone, there are sort of a few openings in the midfield next season to sort of accommodate him more easily. But definitely it feels sort of tight when he comes back, and I don't know what's Arteta going to do. And sort of talking about Arteta, I feel like he sort of overstayed his welcome, and yeah, there needs to be something changed up top, and he needs to go. I feel in the summer, but I don't see it
Hmm.
happening
Oh,
somehow.
by the
Wow.
way,
Are you saying get Arteta out?
Yeah, my like
he's
yeah,
been Arteta out for a while now, right?
Has he? I don't think he's been on the fence for a while, I think.
Yeah, I have been on the fence for sure. The Europa League game pushed me off, sort of and it was not because it was a crucial game for us and we lost. It was because how bad we were in that game. There was
Yeah.
no game plan. You don't see like any thought put behind what plays sort of the is going to like there are no set piece plays, not no build up plays. It was all add on. So more like even if we had lost that game playing good, I wouldn't have been Arteta out. But that game was like totally trash. Like it was too bad. So
Yeah.
yeah, well.
Hey, on the bright side, if you're looking for a new manager, I heard Antonio Conte, he's going to be leaving Inter. So
No,
who knows?
Wow.
I don't feel his style sort of would suit Arsenal.
Would he
But
really
he's
come
a
to
serial
Arsenal?
winner.
I don't think
He
he'll come
is,
to Arsenal. It's
yeah,
too much. I don't think. Yeah, he already has lots of issues with the board wherever he goes. He's not going to get anything from Arsenal, from the Arsenal
yeah. And
owners.
Arsenal board tries to control it, right? That's sort of has been the problem with the recruitment that has happened after Wenger. Like Emery was also not really. He was almost a yes man to the board. Like he didn't sort of have a lot of say in the transfers and the way Arsenal were sort of governed. Almost a similar thing happened with Arteta because he was a newbie. He sort of had to do what the board, which we already discussed in one of the earlier videos. So that was the case. So I don't see someone like Conte coming in and being like the board's puppy, something like that. Which to be honest, I would like at this point a person like who can build a team, who can sort of overrule the board to sort of
Instill
bring
a
the
culture.
yeah,
I guess
yeah,
that's what's been lacking at Arsenal for a while.
yeah. So there,
Rahul,
it's. Mhm.
Rahul, I was just wondering, like, I mean, given the fact that you guys are eighth and y'all have, struggled to qualify for Champions League, is Arsenal going to be able to even attract those, talented players to kind of
Mhm.
get Arsenal up the table? Like,
So, to be honest, for obviously for the good, Arsenal still have some name in the weight. I feel like it's still there is a chance for redemption. I feel for Arsenal to get the players to sort of bring in the talent, uh, and we have the money for. To be honest, like it's we are not like on the financial side, it's not too bad for Arsenal. So there is money to be investment. Obviously, it's not smartly handled, and the owners don't want to spend. So that's another thing about it. But I feel like the goodwill, if you may, is still there for Arsenal's name, and we are still not that behind. Like if we have a few good sort of signings coming in, and we easily could be in the Europe, maybe Europa, but definitely a shot at Champions League. I feel. Like, and it's similarly to what we discussed. Like Liverpool was in the same place. Even United was bad, right? Few seasons back. So there is definitely still a goodwill for all the clubs, and that's basically the reason Arsenal was invited to ESL. Also, I feel like I don't
It's a
feel like
brand.
yeah, brand exactly. So Arsenal still
It's a
has
global
that.
brand.
Yeah.
I think on that, it's. I think missing out on Europe altogether might actually help
Hmm.
because it almost allows you to like get rid of all the deadwood, have a very small squad, which means you can have more money to spend per player. And you mentioned
Mhm.
Liverpool because that's kind of how it started for us in 16-17, where we were out of Europe. We finished eighth in Klopp's first like half season, and that helped. And it was a very small team. It was like only about 12 or 13 players, and we kind of had a problem because of that in the new year. But that enabled us to qualify for Europe, and then you sort of go from strength to strength because that brings in money, which means you can fill out the squad and target the right players. So I think this could actually be a blessing in disguise.
So I feel like Arsenal board doesn't do that. If you see, we take deadwood from other teams, so that's sort of a bit bad for us. So rather
Yeah,
than
that's something you have to
pushing,
change.
right?
You have to
So
get
I
rid of a
feel
lot of the deadwood. I think it's very
is
important. You
right.
Willian
can't have a big
Willian
squad.
getting an extension?
Oh man, does he need one?
Wasn't
He's
David
already is
Lewis
there for
going to
one more
get
year.
He
one?
already
Wasn't Lewis going to get one
no.
also?
Luis is leaving Arsenal. It's official.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I like as much as I want for that to happen, I don't see that happening. Like even there were signs of Aguero coming in, right? Which would have been, I mean, you can't compare Aguero to like any Luis or Willian for sure, but still it's that sort of a signing where it's a bit star player type signing just to get uh, like the player, sorry, not the players, but fans happy kind of a thing. So yeah, I feel like that mentality that happened with Liverpool is going to be tough uh, pushing it on Arsenal.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
yeah.
I mean, yeah, stat-wise, I feel like I don't have a lot to add, to be honest. Aubameyang had a pretty
There's one
solid.
stat though.
What stat?
Arsenal are actually second since Boxing Day, behind only Man City. If you look at the table, the result since Boxing Day.
Oh, really?
So,
Which is
that's almost like, I
That's
know
so
there's a lot of
confusing,
negativity.
actually.
Huh?
It's a confusing stat, really.
Yeah,
If you
there's a lot
look
of
at
negativity
Arsenal.
on Arsenal, but you
Yeah.
look at it, the numbers are actually pretty good. Because
Yeah.
I know we had a horrendous first part of the season, but since then, obviously the Europa League exit wasn't great. But if you look at it, I think he's turned it around. He's done a good job. I don't think he's going anywhere, Arteta,
Yeah, I mean that
on the basis.
late push I feel will cement his place for one season with the board. Like he's not going to go anywhere, and yeah, so I feel like that whatever you are saying, which ironically is the worst time for Arsenal. Sometimes like after November December we just drop off, but we have been good somehow this season. That sort of push gave Arteta the lifeline that he wanted maybe, and if we wouldn't have done good and we would have finished probably 10th or 11th, there might have been a different pressure for the board, which I would have totally got, to be honest. So,
But don't you think this is a curse rather than a blessing, though? I mean, the fact that you're stuck with Arteta now. I mean, the fact that he's
yeah, it is a curse. That's what I'm saying, right?
yeah.
The form
Okay.
that we had ensures that he has a ticket for next season at
Oh
With
Arsenal.
yeah.
Oli.
And we don't have anything to show for it. That's the bad part about it. But yeah, so I feel like, and I think the other sort of player coming to the squad is Partey. I feel like he's sort of gelling well now, a bit,
Oh yeah.
going a
He's
bit
been very
better.
disappointing this season.
Sorry.
So much was expected. He's been very disappointing this season.
Yeah,
So much
but
was
I mean,
expected.
Yeah.
initially he was sort of like he was obviously plagued with injuries when he started of the season. But he definitely has that steel to come back. So he and with sort of Ceballos gone, and I don't know if Elneny will perform next season. Like he was definitely the sort of like the joker in that team. I feel like he came up with all sort of nice plays, goals, and all, which was pretty amazing to see, to be honest. But yeah, I feel like a party has to turn up next season. He showed a bit of a form at the end of the season. He has to show up. With Saliba, I guess coming in, he might strike up a good partnership with Gabriel. So I think, and if we get a good right back, I feel like we have a good, solid sort of defense and goalkeeper to build our. When if Party performs, we have a sort of a good squad. We need a good sort of forwards, and if Odegaard doesn't stay, we need that Ozil kind of a player maybe next season. But yeah, let's see.
Okay, I think we should quickly move on. There's not much left. Forgot
Yeah.
about Leicester actually. I just
Yeah,
had
yeah.
something
I was
to
just
say
about
about.
to say that as well. Yep.
Yeah, I
We should.
just one note. We did a podcast last year around this time. I think Nisarg was on it. Nisarg is not there today, but and it basically called Brendan Rodgers a bottler. I did, and because he's this is a narrative which has been around for a while, and it's rearing its head again. And I just wanted to say, last year was actually bad because if you look at it, they had just one competition to focus on. Yes, they had a few injuries, but they also had a 3-month break where they got a few players back, and they basically just went to pieces after the lockdown, even before like the rot had started, right? So yeah, that I think he deserved criticism for that because obviously he has previous, do what he did with Liverpool, slipping up at the end. But I think this season, I think that criticism is extremely harsh because you look at it, they have a small squad, they've had a lot of injuries, probably next only to Liverpool. They've been in 3 competitions. They've been in the top 4 pretty much right through. They played in Europe. I think that's something people are forgetting. They went to the knockout stages in Europe. They went all the way and won the FA Cup. And that is another thing people are not forgetting, but that is something which you have to take into account. That really takes its toll. Playing so many games for a small squad with injuries they've had. And if you look at some of the games that they lost towards the end, right? Apart from that Southampton game where that was probably a disappointing result, against 10 men not being able to win. But none of the other games were actually, results which were unexpected. Okay, maybe Newcastle, but actually Newcastle had been on a really good run of form. They'd taken points off Tottenham, Liverpool. I think they beat West Ham. They were doing really well, and Leicester really looked knackered towards the end. They were literally running on fumes. I don't even know how they pulled off that win in the FA Cup. And even in the game against Tottenham, right, like they just went to pieces in the second half, and I actually feel sorry for them. So really, I don't think you can label this as an underachievement, or you can't say Rodgers bottled it this time. I think it's an exceptional season, finishing fifth for the second time in a row in the European places, winning the FA Cup, the first time in history for that club, on the back of winning the Premier League 5 years ago. It's absolutely massive. If you look at where Leicester were, before winning the title to where they're consistently there now. I think they've basically broken that top six, which is a massive achievement with the
Has
resources.
has Leicester become the new Tottenham? I mean, apart from the fact that they actually won a trophy, but
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
because Spurs were considered, those that
yeah,
team that would consistently either be in the top four or kind
overachieved.
of or were
Almost, yeah.
right over there. And Leicester seems to have done it in back-to-back seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from the fact that Leicester, you know what? I think Leicester is the only team that were in the top four this season for 242 days.
Yeah,
The
it's something
next
even
team,
last season.
the next team was Man United, which was 151 days.
Wow. Even
And
not even Man City. Yeah.
Yeah, Man
Not
City
even
was
Man City.
142. So
It's
it's
pretty
crazy
crazy.
how they were
Yeah.
consistent. It seems like they had that initial burst, and then towards the end they run out of fuel.
Yeah.
So
It does appear a bit like that. Yeah. I think, but you have to take into account, like I said, they're playing in multiple competitions, and also the run in was pretty hard. It was the hardest of all the teams. So I think sometimes, yeah, the context is important before we.
And I would like to add one more point to that. So there is a stat for the last 5 years. Leicester City are at the bottom of the net spend table. So they haven't
Wow.
like even spent a
Yeah.
lot on players.
Right.
They are like the last in that table out of 20 teams. So
I think they've got one of the best scouting.
Yep.
What do you call teams working because they've got
I wouldn't disagree.
Soyuncu. I
Yeah.
think if I could, and they've
I was
sold players for pretty expensive
so
too.
Vardy was 1 point some million. Then Mahrez was 450K, which is like De Gea's 1 week's
How much did they
wage
sell him for?
would get
60,
you
60
Mahrez.
million.
Yeah. They sold him
So
for like 65 million.
yeah, then even N'Golo Kante, right? I mean, they found some
Yeah.
of the
Peanuts.
really gem players, like even Maguire. Harry Maguire was like again not
Yeah.
that well known.
Chilwell.
Now they have Soyuncu, who is again becoming like a
Fofana. Fofana has
decent.
been a brilliant signing.
Yeah.
I think
They've
they're
been
signing.
targeting the French league, huh? Lately.
Yeah,
Looks like it, yeah. Sumare is going there.
Somare,
That's a very astute signing. I think.
Tillemans is I think
Yeah,
Tielemans
Tielemans
expensive,
is
has
a
been
but
brilliant
outstanding.
he
signing.
has been like a good
Yeah. He's been their
scout.
best player, I think. One of the best
Player.
players in the league this season.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there's a lot going for Leicester. I think their owners are serious and they have some good plans. And the recruitment, like you said, is top notch. So
Mm-hmm.
I think they're here to stay in the top six. It's only a matter of time before Arsenal probably be back, but Tottenham, things are not looking great for them in terms of being in the
Yeah.
big six. We probably have to change that.
I think if
Um,
Spurs lose Kane, which is looking very likely, I think they're going to drop.
yeah, they might do another Bale like summer where they
Yeah.
sold him and bought a bunch of average players. They're very capable of doing something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think we should almost wrap up. Do you want to say anything about West Ham, Sheldon?
West
Since
Ham.
they're your second team,
Yeah,
Messi, Lingard, and all that.
Yeah, Messi, Lingard, and all. I mean,
What happened to Lingard, by the way?
Lingard, I mean, towards the end, I think his form kind of tapered off. But
Yeah.
he definitely, when he came into, when he joined West Ham, he had nothing short of Bruno-esque,
Agreed.
what do you call, impact on West Ham to,
Yeah.
for West Ham to be even in that conversation is a really huge thing. I mean, they came very close to making it to top four. Kudos to
Yeah.
them. If they can keep hold of Declan Rice and Suchek, and even try and get Lingard and another possible
They need a
player,
midfielder.
couple players, midfielders and stuff. I think they have a huge. I think Moyes did really well with the squad he had. I was just going to ask Rahul, actually, the fact that, Arteta has his squad. I know he doesn't have the players and stuff. He should still be doing better than the likes of maybe not Leicester, but better than the likes of West Ham. So kudos to West Ham. Not going to lie. I mean, for the longest time, I was giving everyone crap that they're the best team in London, but obviously Chelsea has edged them towards the end.
Yeah. London
But
is
yeah,
claret and blue.
yep. And you know what? Last but not least, I just want to give a shout out to Leeds.
Oh yeah.
Leeds, I think, are one of the only team. They've had some sort of record. After they got promoted,
Highest number of points after promotion.
Yeah, highest number of points
59
accumulated after.
this year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they've had some ridiculous stat of running. That team running throughout the
Not
90
surprised.
minutes or something. So kudos to that team. This coming from a United supporter, obviously. Leeds. So kudos, just from a neutral
I
football.
think Leeds is everybody's second team now. Not something Leeds fans want, but I think that's been the case right the way through. So
if Nisar goes, he would probably be rooting for them.
Oh man, yeah. So they're definitely, I think Leeds could be a contender for that top 6 next season if they add a couple of players.
And a couple of players.
They just finished 3 points shy of the European spot. So yeah, it's just outstanding what they did. It kind of
it's 2
points
They are
behind Arsenal.
They are 9, right?
Yeah,
they are
3
9.
points behind.
2 points behind Arsenal, and actually 3 points behind. Yeah, you're right. My bad.
Yeah, it's very impressive. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
True.
that I think should do us.
That's a wrap up.
Yeah. So we will see you again maybe next week. We want to review the European finals, and we'll probably be coming with a transfer.
Oh, we forgot to take a
show.
poll on the Europa finals.
Oh,
United or
Do we need to? Do we need to?
Do we care? Does Sheldon care?
I think better
I do.
question is, do we care?
Any trophy is a good trophy.
Yeah. I think it's good. It's good. Yeah, Solskjaer needs the trophy. It'll be something for him. On that note, so please do like and subscribe once again. It did become slightly long today, but I think we had quite a bit of things to review. So hopefully we'll come up with more content, more shows going forward. We have a long summer. We have the Euros as well. So there's a lot of football coming up. Let's see how that goes. Thanks once again. See you all soon. Ta-ra.